What was the question?
When did you last speak with your father?
I don't know. Maybe Christmas? It sounded terrible coming out of her mouth. She was a terrible daughter.
Did he mention anything to you? Anything he was worried about? Anything strange?
She shook her head. No. We had an argument.
What about?
He pulled her father's driver's license from its holder and handed it to her as though it would help her remember. She held it between her shaking hands. It felt wrong to be holding something that was his, something that belonged in his back pocket. School? He wanted me to move back home. Her father's eyes drilled into her from the photograph. This whole college thing was a mistake, goddammit. I don't care about your grades. No daughter of mine has any business living in that city. Shacked up with a man, no less. Don't you lie to me. The landlord told me. I don't care if he is just a friend. He could be as queer as a $3 bill. You're still living like a goddamned prostitute. Look it. If you can't afford the place, you don't belong there. Is that all? Did he mention any problems at work? Any money trouble? No, he just... She wiped away a stray tear before it brought on a flood of them. The license fumbled between her fingers and fell to the table with an awkward clap. He was mad about the money. School's expensive and, he didn't think I was getting good enough grades. She didn't explain that she had gotten a roommate without his permission to help pay the bills, or that he'd hung up on her in a rage, and they hadn't talked since. An arm wrapped around her shoulders and gave her limp limbs a squeeze. She felt herself collapsing inward under its weight. Her interrogator pressed on.
Did he have any enemies? Anyone that might wish him harm?
She shook her head. No, I don't... This is crazy. It can't be him.
Show her the tattoo,
the man holding her whispered. The police officer opened the manila folder and flipped through several large glossy photographs. Fragments of pink skin, black hair, crusted blood, and white bone flashed between his fingers. He stopped and pulled out a large close-up image of a man's shoulder marked with a dark gray skull with wings. Death from above, it said. Her father had one just like it from the war. He always kept it covered up by his shirt sleeves. A familiar scar and dark mole muddled the ink. Dad?
That's enough,
the man next to her said.
We're going to need a signed statement. Without prints or dental, it's going to be tough to make a positive ID any other way. There's DNA, but getting a match? Was he a blood donor?
Without prints or dental. The photograph of the tattoo didn't show the rest of him. His hands, his mouth. Her eyes flitted between the lone sock and the closed folder in the officer's hand.
Just give us a minute.
The man gripping her shoulders held up a hand. It was her father's best friend, Ben. The metal chair screeched against the floor as the officer pushed himself away from the table and stood up.
Take all the time you need.
He left with the file of photographs under his arm. Kris Wiley blinked her eyes clear, as though waking from a trance. She was sitting in the Auglaize County Sheriff's Office. Her shirt was inside out.
I'm so sorry, Critter. I know he'd never want you to see all of this, but there was nothing I could do.
Ben let go of her shoulders and grabbed both her hands. Water welled in his eyes. His face had gone red. She'd known Ben all her life and had never once seen him cry, except from laughing too hard. He was wearing his deputy sheriff's uniform. Growing up, she knew Ben was a cop, but he never wore his uniform when he came over to watch the games with her dad. It felt like Halloween. He squeezed her palms.
We just have to get confirmation from the family. For the official records.
What do you want me to say? She heard herself ask in a small voice. It didn't even sound like her own. Her real voice wanted to scream, "Stop," so she could think, so she could make sense of it.